Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Thank you again for checking out the channel. We appreciate your support, and thank you for all those who have taken the time out to subscribe. We certainly appreciate your loyalty to us. So unless you lived under a rock in the month of June, you know June is considered Pride Month. What is Pride Month? Pride Month is a celebration of the LGBTQ plus whatever the continuation of that is. For those folks. Causes a lot of controversy, most notably because in every facet of our lives, it's being shoved down our throats. So it's not surprising to see a lot of folks pushing back, especially during Pride Month. So where is this all going, Bob, you're asking? Well, this is going to the NHL. The NHL recently just decided to eliminate all Pride and basically any sort of warm-up jerseys that that call out certain organizations and groups, period. So they just decided that, hey, we're not going to have pride jerseys. We're not going to have military jerseys. We're not going to have, any sort of jersey that commemorates something is going to be completely cut out of the NHL. And you ask yourself, why is this? Why is this, Bob? Why are they doing this? Well, the LGBTQ Pride Month did it to itself. People are getting fed up with it. Not that people are getting fed up with the LGBTQ community, but they're just sick of having this ideology pushed down our throats every single day. It's that simple. So with that being said, a lot of folks in the sports media have a lot to say about it. So I want to react to a Breakfast Today clip. Breakfast Today, I believe, is a Canadian sports morning show that is talking a little bit about this, as you can see in the window here below. So just wanted to talk a little bit about that, kind of respond to their feedback, and talk a little bit about some reporting that's been out there regarding this specific topic. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Again, sorry about the delay. I'm not working out of my normal office.
We felt the need to really talk about this next thing. And for those of you who have followed the National Hockey League over the last 6 months, especially on Pride nights, there's been an issue with certain players in terms of wearing pregame warm-up jerseys with the rainbow colors on them. There's been more than a few who have said it's either against my religion or I'm Russian, and it's now actually illegal to promote this in Russia. So there's been a lot of reasons why some players have not done it. And it's garnered a lot of headlines, despite the fact the majority of National Hockey League players have willingly worn warm-up jerseys that support their Pride nights. The National Hockey League have basically gone down the road of saying, you know what, we're going to do this and we're all on the same page. Just kidding, they're not. They're going the complete other way, and they are scrapping all pregame warm-up jerseys for every night. That includes Pride Night. That includes Hockey Fights Cancer. That includes military
Thanks, Pride. You ruined it for everybody.
Appreciation Night, among others. So just so we're clear.
Because you had to have folks bend the knee to your ideology. And if they didn't bend the knee to your ideology, you ran their names through the mud. Because of you, this is what happens.
The National Hockey League and the owners of this league have decided in Pride Month to say, we can't control the situation at all where it doesn't make us look horrific. So we're not going to do anything in terms of warm-up jerseys in the skates prior to the game, the pregame skates. Completely walking away from everything. If you're wondering to yourself, how does the NHL really feel they can get away with this? Our own Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman, managed to speak to NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman yesterday. Here's what he said.
Well, actually, I've suggested that it would be appropriate for clubs not to change their jerseys in warm-ups because it's become a distraction and taking away from the fact that all of our clubs in some form or another
it's not even that it's a distraction, right? It's what those jerseys represent, right? Again, there is no. I'm not bashing the LGBTQ community, but what I am saying is that, you know, if if someone doesn't agree with that type of behavior, and not everyone does, the reaction of that community is to attack, 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 and make that person bend the knee, and then try to re-educate. People have religions. They don't believe in that. If you want to live that life, that is totally up to you. It is totally up to you what you do in your bedroom. But to force that upon everybody is wrong.
Host nights in honor of various groups or causes, and we'd rather they continue to get the appropriate attention that they deserve and not be a distraction.
Gary Bettman used the word distraction multiple times in that quote, and thank you to Elliot Friedman for that.
'Cause it
Tammy
is.
Sutherland.
Oh, announcing it during Pride Month is one thing. That's a whole other thing. I won't even get there. But I mean, it's always easy not to do nothing. It's always easy just to step back and say, you know what?
But what happens when they do nothing? Then the questions become, well, why aren't you doing this? So good for the commissioner of the NHL for actually speaking out about this and basically saying, hey, listen, we're just not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're just not. Because then put the shoe on the other foot. He does nothing. Pride Month rolls around next year. No one wears the jerseys, but the MLB, other groups start, MLB and other sports organizations, they start doing it, but NHL says no. Then what's going to happen? The group's going to come out and say that they hate the LGBTQ community. That's why. That's why you say something.
Forget about it. We're getting too much criticism on this end or that end. We're done. What is the hardest thing to do is to actually stand up and have your voice heard. And it just sounds like the NHL continuously takes the easy way. Yep. And decides that.
I don't find it to be the easy way at all. I think the easy way would be to bend the knee and pander to these groups. To me, that's the easy way. The hard way is actually speaking out and saying, hey, listen, we're not going to do this. Because now the backlash is going to come.
That they're just not going to advocate for anyone. We're going to stay neutral when, unfortunately, staying neutral is not going to help further the cause, whether it's about pride, whether it's about racism, whatever it may be.
It's sports. Their role is to play sports. Their role is not to advocate for one side politically or the other. That's not their role.
That's
the problem with the left.
Really?
That's the problem with the left. They want everyone to bend the knee politically, no matter where you're at.
I'm still trying to process this, Lindsay.
Yeah, it's
Keep processing
so
it, homie.
disappointing, and it's honestly kind of disgusting. I mean, like you said.
What's disgusting is that the trans community is trying to push us to our kids. That's the disgusting thing. That's the horrible thing. I find her comments to be disgusting.
Attempt to release this during Pride Month, but I always say, like, even as an artist, we have a platform and you can choose to speak your feelings or not speak your feelings. But choosing to not speak your feelings is also saying a statement of something. And it is really sad. It is really, really sad that the NHL is just choosing to back out. It's like,
good for them.
My goodness, as an organization, you can't take a stance and talk about things that are important. So you're just gonna back out of the fight.
What's important is playing the sport. That's why people watch the sport. They want to just see people play. They don't want agendas or ideologies pushed down their throat. It's their escape from the real world. I don't have to turn on my TV, watch baseball, football, hockey, basketball, and have some agenda shoved down my throat, or see something on TV that it's not appropriate for my children to watch. If I want to watch hockey, I want to watch hockey for just that, hockey. I want to watch baseball, I want to watch just that, baseball. Football, basketball, etc.
Pride altogether. It's disgraceful.
I completely agree with you. First off, I know everyone's angry at Gary Bettman, and to a certain extent, so am I. He is a shield for ownership, and there are some owners in that league that didn't want to do it anymore. Period. We don't know which one.
Right. They don't want to do it anymore. You saw what happened to Bud Light, Target, and all these other woke organizations. They're losing billions of dollars in market value because people are fed up. And just like Target and just like Bud Light and all these other woke companies, sports is also an organization and a company, and their bottom line means more to them than anything. And when you start putting this stuff in front of them, in front of their children, they're going to rebel. They're not going to spend their money with you. These guys are clowns, by the way.
That's for Gary to stop us from knowing. But I guarantee you, there were owners in that board of governors room who were like, I don't want to have this controversy anymore. But to go the extra length and knock out all the other days as well is honestly, it's cowardly. There's no other word to say it. It is cowardly, and this league, if it weren't for Canadian broadcasters, this league would have been broke 30 years ago. Because that's the only reason this league makes any revenue. This league doesn't make revenue because of decision makers. This league doesn't make revenue because of TV ratings in the States. This league doesn't make revenue because of any progressive thought whatsoever. This league makes money because Rogers gave it $5 million or $5 billion. That's why this league makes money. That stuff is prevalent in the National Hockey League. That's how they think. That's how they roll. It's a small organization run by small people. And to do this in Pride Month is absolutely stunning. But part of me is actually glad because this league doesn't deserve to say hockey is for everyone. This league doesn't deserve to go down that road. And if I were them, I'd pull out of Pride Nights completely because this league's not ready for this. Homophobia and transphobia are running rampant in that league.
Just because you don't agree with the behavior doesn't make you homophobic or transphobic. It just means you don't believe in it. And again, what people decide they want to do in their own bedroom is really none of your business. It's none of my business. It's none of anyone's business.
It's pretty obvious. This league's not ready for that. So I'd say back up even further. No Pride Nights. Toronto Blue Jays know how to get it done. When there's an issue, they deal with it.
Yeah,
this league has no idea what it's doing.
They fired their player.
I would pull back even
because
further,
he
but that's
agreed.
just one person's opinion. Twitter's going to be...
Yeah, the Toronto Blue Jay situation is actually pretty funny because the Toronto Blue Jay situation, because he didn't agree with, he didn't want to participate, the player didn't want to participate in Pride Night, which he shouldn't have to. If he doesn't agree with the behavior, he shouldn't have to participate. I wouldn't participate if I didn't, if I was forced to do it, it'd be a different story. I'd probably leave the organization. But that's just my opinion, you know? But anyway, want to talk a little bit more about this. There's been a couple articles written about this. So first we're going to go to msn.com, and we're going to talk about this article here. And it looks like here, this came out on, it doesn't have a date on it, does it? No, it does not. But anyway, this talks a little bit about the NHL eliminating pride and pregame cause jerseys. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and the league owners are removing pride jerseys next season. The league's Board of Governors decided to do away with all specialty jerseys worn before games during the 23-24 season. Gary Bettman is quoted here saying, I suggested that it would be appropriate for clubs not to change their jerseys in warm-ups because it becomes a distraction and takes away from the fact that all of our clubs in some form or another host nights in honors of various groups, causes, and we'd rather those continue to get the appropriate attention that they deserve and not be a distraction, Bateman said. Pride Night themes typically included rainbow-colored jerseys and stick tape. It was the only NHL theme celebrated last season, depending on the market. The military heritage and past heroes were all included by some teams that had players don special threads to match the promotional events. Backlash met several dedicated jersey nights. Bateman said that NHL does plan to permit teams to continue dedicated events and game day theme nights, including Pride Night. Last season's Chicago Blackhawks, St. Louis Blues, Minnesota Wild, and other teams decided not to wear the warm-up sweaters due to public objections. Right. I mean, you got to think about it, right? If the majority of your fan base doesn't agree with this behavior, why pander to the 1% or the very tiny percent of folks who are adopting this behavior? Right? It's like you're shunning the majority of your business, the majority of your customers. Several Russian players, citing increased tension around anti-gay laws in their home country, refused to wear the warm-up sweaters. Buffalo Sabre defenseman Ilya Lubeshkin, hopefully I said that right, a 28-year-old from Russia, did not participate in pregame festivities when the team held its Pride Night. Teammates, including Kyle Okposo, hopefully I said that right again, said it was important for Lubushkin's decision to frame Lubushkin's decision in proper context. So you're seeing a lot of this pushback now in sports. You're seeing a lot of this pushback just in general. Again, you're saying, just look at the Bud Light and the Target situation. Those are great examples of people just saying enough is enough. We don't care what you do in your bedroom. We don't care. But enough is enough. Like, stop shoving this down our throats. We've seen enough. We've had enough of it. We got another article here from Boston.com. NHL teams won't wear theme night jerseys after players' pride refusals cause distractions. And this was written on the 23rd today and was posted at 7:57 a.m. this morning. NHL teams won't wear specialty jerseys for pregame warm-ups during the theme nights next season. So this is not talking about the remainder of this season, well, which is over, obviously, because the Stanley Cup has already been completed. But starting next year, they're doing away with everything. The league's board of directors agreed Thursday with Commissioner Gary Bateman's view that the refusals overshadowed the team's efforts in hosting Pride Nights, that in some cases included auctioning off warm-up jerseys. All 32 teams held Pride or hockey. This doesn't make sense. All 32 teams held Pride and hockey is hockey is for everyone night. So I guess hockey is for everyone night is a different event. So again, you can see that, there's a tide drifting the other way. So again, what do you think? I want to know what everyone thinks. Let me know down below in the comments section if you agree with this, that, hey, listen, enough is enough. We're done wearing these Pride jerseys, and in fact, we shouldn't really honor any of these team nights. Or are you on the fence, like, hey, honor everyone, and hockey's making a bad decision here? So again, let me know what you think down below. If you like this type of content, please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. We appreciate you. Again, we try to put out videos every other day, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.